So good morning. In the last videos, sir, just we started CoreJava. Okay, CoreJava. So it is a normal regular batch, and the duration of this course is 2 months. Okay, 2 months, and the timings of this class is from 7 a.m. to 8 or 8:15. Monday to Saturday, the classes will be there. And the fees for this course is 5,000 rupees. The mode is only online, not offline. And if you want to get registered with this course, you need to contact with these numbers. And myself, K. Prakash Babu, having 14 years of experience in Java, okay, as a trainer, and I'm a Wipro certified trainer, sir. So the people who are attending, sir, today is my first class. Like that, if anyone is there, go through with the link what I have given in the chat window. Okay, so that is nothing but the previous class demos are available in that. And coming to the syllabus, already I discussed. So we are going to cover this Java in 4 parts. One is the fundamentals, second one is object oriented, third one is a predefined APIs, language level concepts, and Java new features. And in the last videos, we discussed about what is mean by language, what is mean by programming language, why we need to go for programming language, and so with some small programs also we have seen, and even we discussed about so Java sample application, how you can able to prepare a simple Java program, how we can able to execute that part also we covered very clearly. Okay, so even in the last videos we have seen all these things, sir. So today also just I need to go with some programs. Okay, some programs maybe it will be easy for you to understand. So have a look once. Sir, some 4 to 5 programs today I'm going to cover. Sir, first program, write a Java program to find sum of digits present in the given number. I want to write a program to find sum of digits present in the given number. How we can able to do this program? Already we know the Java skeleton, right? Every Java program is associated with a class. So inside that class we are going to take the main method. Okay, the main method syntax is public static void main string array args. So class means what? It is an object oriented principle. So public means anyone can access the data. So static means without object creation we can access that information. So how you can able to indicate that? By using this static. And void is the return type of the method. So of course my main method is not going to return any value. That's why we have to take it as void. And main is nothing but starting point of every program. So if I want to start a program, you should start from main method. And string array args, it is nothing but an array, so which consisting of all the inputs which you are passing from the command prompt. Now, sir, I am taking class test. Let us save the file. Where we have to save this file? Prakash classes. Here I am going to take so test.java. Right. How to compile this code? Already we discussed. So for compilation of this code, you need to go to command prompt and cd backslash, and where we have saved our programs in Prakash classes. Just you need to enter into that. So which command we have to use to compile the Java program? Java C command, which we discussed in earlier sessions. So Java C space, the file name which I have given is test.java. So this Java C command will take input as a Java source file, and it will compile that file and it will run, sir. Sir, what output we are going to get? Nothing. Sir, I have not covered this topic in earlier session, but listen carefully. So once if you compile the program, a separate file will be created. The name of the file is nothing but a test.class. Sir, if you see here, sir, when this test.java file got test.class file got created, have you seen here the information is available on 8/30/2022, 7:16 a.m. this file got created. That means what? So just now this file got created. So once if you compile the Java program, a separate dot class file will be created. So keep this in mind. We will discuss in about this dot class file. It is called as bytecode. So we will discuss about that later. Sir, then how to run the program? We need to go with one command called Java. So Java space test. Once if you run the program, we are going to get the message saying hello world. Okay. So we are going to get the message saying hello world. So this is the way how we can able to execute a simple Java application. Right. Sir, I want to write a program to read a number from the user and I want to find out sum of digits present in that number. Sir, don't worry. For this, we have to go with one special package, java.util.scanner. So do you know this Java people created one special package, sir, called util for utility purposes. Okay. Of course, we have n number of commands are there. So we will discuss those commands later one by one. So this by using this scanner class, we can able to read data from the user. That the biggest advantage we have with the help of this scanner. Now, sir, I am creating one object for scanner class. Scanner obj is equal to new scanner. Sir, don't worry at all. All these things we are going to discuss in detail. Then, so by using this system.out.println, just I am asking enter any number. So it will prompt a message saying enter any number. The user has to give the number n is equal to obj dot next int. Like this, the user has to provide a number. So next, what we have to do? Anyway, the target of the program is nothing but you have to calculate the sum of the digits, right? That's why I'm taking integer sum is equal to 0. Because initially my sum is 0. So try to extract the digits one by one and add it to this sum. Okay. Sir, how to extract the digits? While the value of n is not equal to 0, while the value of n is not equal to 0, take a separate variable and your digit is equal to n percentage 10. Okay, don't worry, I will explain that logic. Sum is equal to sum plus t and n is equal to, you are going to get n by 10. After completion of this, just we have to print the value of sum. Sir, I will take one diagram and I will explain. Listen carefully. So initially, consider the value of n is equal to, you have given 123, this line. And initially sum is equal to what, sir? Sum is equal to 0. Let us take sum is equal to 0. Perfect. Sir, first I want to extract d is equal to n percentage 10. Sir, n percentage 10 in the sense, you have to divide the number. What is the number that they have given? 123. Can you please divide this number? Can you please divide this number? So with 10. So what will happen? So 10 12s are, we are going to get 120 and the remainder is nothing but 3, sir. Okay, what is the remainder? 3. So whenever you are taking percentage division, you are going to get remainder this one. Whenever you are taking normal division, you are going to get this 12 as output. So because of this percentage, what happens? Sir, we got the digit and your digit will become 3. Excellent. Sir, whatever digit you calculated, can you please add that digit to sum? Yes, sir. Sum is equal to sum plus 3. What is the sum? 0. 0 plus 3 will become 3. That 3 I am going to add to the sum. Then n is equal to, what is the next value of n? N by 10. That means 12. Okay, what is the next value of n? N is equal to 12. Then next time the value of n will become 12. Next time the value of n will become 12. Since it is a looping statement, sir, don't worry, just a demo purpose I am taking all these things. We will discuss about this while loop, for loop, do while, all these things one by one. Okay, sir, how to get the digit? Your digit will become, sir, 12. I am going to divide with 10. So 10 10 10 ones are 10 I am taking. Okay, 10 ones are 10. Remainder is what? 2. Sir, your digit will become 2 and n is equal to, what is the next n value? 1, right? That's all. Sir, we need to add this digit to the sum. Already sum is 3. Sir, your digit is 2. So 3 plus 2 will become 5 and I am going to update that sum. Next time, what is the value of n? Since it is a loop, again n value will be taken as 1. So is it not equal to 0? Yes. What about a digit? You need to divide 1 with 10. So 10 zeros, 0, your remainder will become 1. So digit is 1. Sir, sum is equal to, what is the previous sum value? 5, sir. For that 5, add this one, which will become 6 and update on the same. Now, what will be the value of n? Just now we have seen 0 is the value. So next time n is equal to 0. Sir, if n is not equal to 0, you have to continue the process. If n is equal to 0, you have to stop this process. So with the help of these, what is the latest value of sum? 6, right? Sir, is it physically, is it coming this value or not? Yes, sir. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 is always 6. So both are correct. So this is nothing but how you can able to prepare this program. Let's compile the code and what happens. And let's run the code and see what output we are getting. Sir, if input is 123, oh, it is not displaying any output. Enter any number 123. The sum of those numbers is nothing but 6. Suppose if you are giving any big number, no problem. It will calculate the sum and it will print. This is a simple program. How you can able to find some of the digits present in the given number. Sir, please confirm. Do you have any doubts up to this?
No, no doubt, sir.
Right. Right. So now, what is the next thing that we are going to cover here is, sir, we are going to talk about method overloading. Just a sample basic idea I'm providing in the demo. Okay. Sir, of course, we will discuss these topics in OOPS concepts. Just I'm going to provide method overloading definition. Sir, method overloading means it is a process of creating a same method name with so different arguments. Okay, a same method name with different arguments is called as method overloading. So method name is the same, but which one is going to change? Arguments are going to be changed. For example, sir, I want to deposit some amount to the account. Okay, I want to deposit some amount to the account. Sir, what we have to do? We have to take a class account. In this, we need to write the message saying, okay, saying some boolean means we will get either true or false. So true means I can say that the transaction is successful. Okay, what is the meaning of true? That the transaction is successful. Suppose if you are getting false, that means the transaction was not successful. Like this, just I am going to assume. Okay, sir, I can do any transaction. The return type is always boolean. So if my input is, I mean, if that method is working properly, then it will return true. So if that method is not working properly, that means if any invalid inputs or if anything happens in the middle of this implementation, then it is going to return false. So based on this, we can print acknowledgement to the user saying, "Array, your account is credited with this so and so amount, otherwise not." Right, sir. Now I am taking boolean. Okay, now I am taking boolean. So credit amount. Okay, I want to credit the amount to account. Sir, what about amount? Sir, you can provide the amount with the help of cash. Just for your understanding purpose, I am taking. I am implementing cash regarding cash related activities. Okay. Sir, now I'm going to take boolean. I'm going to take, sir, credit of. Sometimes you may use UPI ID also. So using that UPI ID also, you can able to credit the amount, right? Yes, like this also we can take. And boolean, sir, you can credit the amount. So by taking some net banking process also you can use for crediting the amount. Like this also we can. Okay, so these are the various ways are there, but all these ways are going to do only one activity. What is that activity? They are going to credit the amount to the account. Okay, sir, maybe the approach is different, but the concept is the same. So implementations is also going to be different, but outline theme is the same. So I'm giving two numbers for you to perform addition operation. You may take A plus B or B plus A. Your result is same, right? Like that. So different inputs they are giving. So based on that input, what activity we have to do, that you need to implement by our own. So this process is called as, okay, this process is called as method overloading. Sir, I think this scenario is very clear for people. Please confirm everyone. Do you have any doubts about this, Anna?
No, sir, it is clear.
Right. Yeah. So I'm going to stop the session because only few members are there.